Right, Steve. Yeah, fiscal stimulus. Will they, won't they? It certainly looks like the dollar is making a move on the fact that they will, but will they? Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Trader Talks videos with myself, Richard Perry, market analyst at Handtech, and also Steve Miley, the market chartist. Now, as ever, we'll be pointing you towards our website, hmarkets.com, where you can sign up for a demo account, or you can open a live trading account in 4 easy steps. Now, Steve, this dollar move has really taken hold actually to the downside. Seems as though markets are front running the fiscal stimulus and arguably the election as well. Now, that's going to be impacting, I think, on some charts we're looking at today.
Yeah, so I'm going to focus on the Aussie in here first of all. And as you say there, we've seen this a little bit of US dollar strength come back on. There's a view of kind of slight risk on and there's hopes, hopes come back again as we've passed this deadline that you mentioned there, regarding the economic relief package in the US. So we've kind of shifted back to risk on. US dollar in here strengthening. I think a lot of that US dollar strength that we're seeing on the US dollar index, and I know you're going to kind of talk about that.
The
Weakness, excuse me, on the US dollar index in here is coming from the strength that we're seeing in the euro. So we're seeing EUR USD push higher, and that's seeing the dollar weaken in here on the dollar index. But if you look at a bigger picture, and I'm looking at the Aussie in here, the Aussie still looks very, very vulnerable. We have had this rebound in here over the last 12-24 hours. The market's just had a little bounce, but I still think the negativity that we've had right the way through from September and this acceleration lower from mid-October leaves the Aussie as really, really vulnerable.
Well, the way I look at it, I think that what you've got is the Australian dollar, which is under pressure, I think, from the rates chatter from the RBA, looking towards moving to negative rates. And I think that means Aussie just slips on an underperforming move there. Yeah, you've got this near-term rebound on the Australian dollar US because of that US dollar weakness that we've seen taking hold in the past 24 hours. But you can see that on the chart, there is a downtrend forming, and that downtrend for me, I think, is a concern.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's definitely a concern, and whether you look at this as, I don't know, I don't think it's really a proper head and shoulders top, but whatever it is, we were discussing off camera there, it's definitely a topping pattern that we've got building by the looks of it. And it's held previously at that 70.05 level, just above psychological 70.00. And if we break down through 70.05, 70.00, it all looks super vulnerable to a deeper correction down to like 68.00, really, like 2 handles lower. That's a big move on the Aussie, nearly 3% potential breakdown. And I think this rebound, as long as we're capped off by, we've got small resistance in the 71.15 level, as long as we're capped off by there, looking for a roll back down lower from there, and then looking for that breakthrough 70.05, 70.00 and a more bearish theme.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just looking at this chart, I've stuck on the 50 line on the RSI because you can see the uptrend. You saw the RSI holding consistently above 50. Now that's started to break down. We've seen consistently below 50, and that for me tells me there's a shift in the outlook, shift in the sentiment on the Aussie. And I think that again, I think that there is an attraction towards 70 big figure, and how the market responds at that point, I think, is going to be crucial.
Yeah, I'd agreed. So we're looking at silver with you, right?
Yeah, again, we're looking, I think, generally speaking, at the dollar as a weakening play. We can see that as we've talked about through dollar index, which is breaking down below the 93 level. And that effectively comes with positive risk appetite. And positive risk appetite certainly plays into the silver story. We look at silver and gold. Well, we look at gold quite a lot, but silver is like gold on steroids. And silver breaking higher, you can see that when gold moves higher, silver really moves higher. And we've seen that silver is breaking the downtrend of the past 7 weeks. And it now looks to be breaking and moving towards a test of the key resistance overhead, 25.55 to 25.85. Now, that point, and how the market responds at that point, that's really important resistance on a Fibonacci basis, but also the underside of the old August-September trading range. So how the market responds at that stage, I think, is going to be really important for silver potentially going on another bull run. At the moment, I see it just as a sort of an upside move, higher lows, higher highs, not really accelerating higher, but through that 25.85 level could accelerate the move up towards testing the September highs again.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think, on the chart, if you just look at it on the chart, I mean, very much in agreement. It looks like, we've got more of a positive tone there. It just kind of sits kind of a little bit against what I'm feeling on that. I think there's a real threat. We kind of might be shifting more towards a risk off environment though. And, and I don't quite understand why we're getting this euro strength, which is then playing into US dollar weakness, which then seems to be clouding a lot of these charts in here, because there is a vulnerability still for European equities. We look at something like the DAX, and it looks very vulnerable at the moment, and particularly with these outbreaks, obviously, and lockdowns in Europe, with respect to COVID, and the various measures that are being put in around Europe. So I'm not quite seeing where that euro strength, which then plays into the dollar weakness, comes in, and then that's obviously keeping these kind of riskier assets kind of afloat. But
the way I look at it, I think it's fiscal stimulus all the way.
Yeah,
I mean, if this fiscal stimulus package gets signed through, markets are going to be risk positive.
Yeah.
If they push that into the long grass again, then we're struggling, because you've got the flash PMIs coming up this week. I think they are a key moment as well, because you're likely to see, as you say, for the Eurozone, you're likely to now start to see these PMIs going back under 50 and holding underneath there. That suggests contraction. And we're watching out for how the second wave really does impact on Europe through this final quarter of the year.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, what you say there is important. I mean, they are kind of kicking the can on this. It feels like they want to be seen to be doing an economic relief package, right, without actually doing one, and the market needs it delivered. And if we don't get it delivered, pre-election,
then you're looking at the likes of silver falling over, certainly. At the moment, the markets are pricing, I think, for silver and fiscal support being put through.
Yeah, it is looking that way, certainly.
Okay, well, great. Thank you very much for talking to us again, Steve, and we'll speak to you all next time for some more trader talks. Good luck in your trading, everyone.